Oh lordy, when is it going to end? The middle of summer and still the rain lashes down. I wouldn't mind so much, but we haven't got a foreign holiday to look forward to. Only the return of winter. And we're on constant tenterhooks worrying whether we're going to flood or not. From a jam making perspective it's equally glum, as trying to do any pick your own is absolutely out of the question. The poor old PYO farmers must be pulling their hair out. It would seem, however, that the same ghastly weather is not affecting our continental cousins. On a trip to the local supermarket the other day, my eyes alighted on some of the finest apricots I've seen in some considerable time. Produce of Spain, of course. No matter, there's nothing like making a drop of apricot jam to warm the heart. The mere colour alone is enough to lift the spirits. It's like capturing the sunshine in a saucepan. That said, I've spent many years most disappointed with my homemade apricot jam recipe. I've spent countless winter evenings scouring every recipe I could find to see why mine seemed so flat. I discarded, of course, every recipe that suggested boiling the life out of it. I treat my apricots with kid gloves. I've tried everything, but still it was lacking in flavour. It was only when one of my more health-conscious friends recommended the Marks and Spencer's dried apricots as an alternative to the pounds of sweets I was stuffing down my throat that the idea hit me. Why not try putting some dried apricots in the recipe and see if that improves the flavour? The result? An apricot jam you could die for. Now do make sure when you're doing this that you only use the dried apricots that are meant to be eaten as a healthy snack, and not those small orange cubes of concrete you find in the cake ingredients aisle of the supermarket. You see, when they dry the apricots it concentrates the flavour, and hence when you add some to your apricot jam you finally get that intense apricot flavour that I've been searching for years. So how's it done, I hear you cry? Ingredients for apricot jam recipe: 1 kilogram fresh apricots, 200 grams dried apricots, 1.5 kilograms of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of citric acid. To prepare the apricot jam: stone and slice the fresh apricots into 4 or 8 pieces depending on their size, and finely chop the dried apricots. Place both in a wetted saucepan and sprinkle over the citric acid. Mix well, place a lid tightly on the saucepan and heat gently. Allow the fruit to soften, stirring frequently to avoid sticking. Once the fruit is simmering, leave on a gentle heat until the apricots have turned to mush. Make sure they have simmered as a complete mush for at least 5 minutes. Remove the lid, turn the heat up full, add the sugar and stir frequently until the mixture reaches a rolling boil. Hold the rolling boil for 30 seconds. Turn off the heat and test for set on a cold saucer. If an insufficient set is achieved, add liquid pectin as per the manufacturer's instructions. Bring back to the rolling boil, hold for another 30 seconds and turn off the heat. Leave to cool slightly, remove the scum from the surface and decant into pre-sterilised jars, sealing tight, and store in a cool, dark place. You should find this apricot jam recipe sets just fine without liquid pectin. This is because the citric acid will draw out all the natural pectin. There's no water added to dilute the fruit, and there's plenty of sugar present. If you do find your recipe is not setting well, please do use some liquid pectin. There's no shame in it. Much better that than boiling the life out of your jam. Apricots are not cheap, and neither are the good quality ones that we add to this recipe, so to end up with a tasteless overboiled brown mess would be criminal. Finally, do it justice in the presentation department. I know I'm a horror for sticking stuff in any old jar, but this apricot jam recipe is a little bit special, so something like these fabulous Macedonia jars from Wares really set it off beautifully. Till next time, ta-ra!